Hello everyone and welcome back to Space-Based DF-9. When we last left our, well, unfortunate set of people, they were making housing.
That is, I believe, what we were doing. Yeah. So in the last half week since we did the last recording, I actually picked up this game and put about 15 hours into it. I really enjoy it, really recommend it, and now actually know enough about this that I can hopefully be a little bit more helpful in the commentary side of things.
We just got your base is built in an offensive shape.
Oh, wonderful. Yeah, I've got this a few times. They're going to come and they're going to try and kill you, so how do you recommend dealing with this, Graham?
I sent everybody to security, and then murder them all in
that sounds like
and merriment.
Sounds like a plan, though. Did they just dock with the outpost?
Yeah, they did just dock with the outpost. And then we set a beacon to necessary force.
I just gone full-on lethal. I mean, fuck these guys.
Yeah.
You don't have a brig, so I mean, there's no point in trying to take prisoners.
Well, their ship will soon become the brig.
Oh, fair enough. I can see that. So you're assigning individual rooms to each of these people?
Once I
make enough rooms.
Make enough rooms.
Yeah. Yeah, more fair.
Oh, crap. We lost a person.
Well, that's not good. Yes, unfortunately, just like in classic Dwarf Fortress, it is incredibly easy for your people to die horribly. And due to occasional dumbnesses with the AI, it's entirely possible for your base of 50 people to all die to 2 goddamn raiders even when they have advanced armor and weaponry. Fuck you, Space Base, motherfucker. Love this game, it's not without its problems. Anyway. Well, this is just one of those things that happens, unfortunately.
Yes, it is quite unfortunate.
Fortunately, your brave space venturers should be able to take care of these raiders pretty easily once they finally get their heads out of their asses. Being on a slight delay, I'm not entirely sure when the raid will actually have ended, but I assume everything is going perfectly well, and that these images I'm seeing right now are merely non-representative of the badass way you people cleaned up everything. Where we didn't lose like 5 members of the crew.
We did.
Oh, bully. Okay, well, upside is, the raiders all seem to be dead. Hopefully. Yes. After we explored their ship and hopefully don't all get gunned down by the next wave of raiders. Let's find out if that happens. Anyway, so something I was going to mention was that for those of you who are interested in playing this game but feel a little bit intimidated by the learning curve, there is actually a way in the when you're setting up your base, when you're choosing your location, to actually start with a prefabricated mini base in a good location where you will have an easier time getting down to basics for this game, and that is what is called Quick Start mode, which you get by building your base anywhere, selecting a location anywhere in the lower right-hand corner of the star map when you are selecting base location from the initial start screen. Not building your base here on the map, but when you're in the choose location map from episode 1.
Yes. Okay. So it seems like all of the dudes are dead, but let's go back to the roster and see who we have left. Ooh, that's no good.
Alright. Oh, and one other thing I should mention that I found out after we recorded episode 1, because we gave you some really bad advice in episode 1.
Oh, yes, unfortunately.
Yeah, turns out that base seed thing that we tore down and used for scrap, yeah, that's a power generator. That is a really convenient starting power generator that can power your whole base for a decent little bit of time before you have to build your next reactor. In fact, as long as you don't tear it down in the way that we did, you can pretty much go straight from that to a dark matter reactor and be basically set for like your base's first 30 people and all the accommodations they will need.
Wait.
So yeah, we're dummies. We're dummies.
We have new people coming aboard, though.
Hey, there we go. We can replace some of the corpses. Oh, another useful tip that I found out is research. Research early. Science is your friend. Seriously, Morath, you should really build up a science facility as soon as you are able, because getting in on that early research, yeah, sure, sometimes your entire crew can die because the idiots will just charge into raiders one by one, even when they have advanced weapons and armor. God damn it! But most of the time, having level 2 guns and armor makes even the nastiest of encounters a lot more manageable.
Good.
And getting a level 2 refinery can be extraordinarily useful if you are on a map with low amounts of matter. Because it means that everything you bring to the reactor, to the refinery, ends up being much more valuable. So, good stuff. In fact, I'd almost say that the priority list, as far as I'm concerned, just from my own experience, is, airlock, life support, with a base you don't need a generator immediately, then residential, then probably a lab, then a bar.
Yes.
So that's just my kind of thing. If you don't end up with anyone who enjoys science duty, then don't bother, because science duty is apparently really boring, and I've had a lot of people go berserk while being forced to work that job with low satisfaction, with just middling satisfaction, not even negative satisfaction. Oh, Chobro. I'm glad he lived.
He is our man, dude. He probably actually could have taken out the raiders on his own with the 3 security.
Entirely possibly. Plus, he's just such a positive dude. For a giant,
He loves everything.
I know he's not got any problems with anything. I'm glad that of the people who died, it seems like a lot of the people who did die were the annoying bastards who didn't like anything. I mean, we still got a few people who are just unhappy almost all the time, but big old positive Obro is always going to be with us. I love him. He's gonna die horribly one day.
Yes, he is. Okay, so you can assign residential zones to people.
Yes, in fact, you assign beds to people. If you assign the bed to an individual resident, they will preferably use that bed if at all possible, and get big happiness bonuses when they are in that bed, which you can build gigantic, just residency areas that are just huge common areas, and they work just fine. They're better than not having anywhere to sleep. And if you end up with a base with far more people than you have beds, it's a good idea to have just common room. But it's definitely a good way to keep people's morale up if they can feel like they have their own personal space.
Luckily, we have enough of these ships around that we can actually give people their own beds.
Yep. And another kind of cool thing about this, and this was a recent addition to the newest update, was that they added in personal effects that the people like to put onto shelves and dressers. So as long as each citizen has their own dresser or shelf, they will place their own little personal items on it and feel much better about that fact. So it's a nice thing. The people have their own little personal preferences and quirks, and it's fun. I like that. So, Morath, what is going to be your next next thing? Now that you've kind of started getting, excuse me, now that you've started getting everyone comfortably situated.
After that, it's research.
All right, cool.
And a bar.
Indeed. And if you're going to get a bar, shouldn't we probably set up a hydroponics garden to grow some delicious food for the barman to cook up for our hungry, hungry spacemen?
Yes. Do you know how big a science room needs to be? This is actually a new thing.
I believe the science room is 4x3. The science station is 4x3.
Okay, so what we'll do is we'll make it a 5x10 room.
Fair enough. Yeah, I like to have 2 science consoles in the room just because having double science duty is good. Research goes extremely slowly with a single researcher, especially when they decide to take long breaks. So I always like to make sure that people are around to kind of work those shit jobs in shifts.
Mm-hmm.
Then another, yeah, I guess after that would be the hydroponics, which I usually think that like you need a 3x3 space for your first for any individual garden. But the interesting thing about the hydroponics, along with a lot of other buildings in Space Base, is that the space required to place a building is not actually the size of the object that you're placing. The object is always like half a tile smaller than it appears, or is even a full tile smaller in every direction. The reason for that is that it's leaving room for people to walk around the object. So you can actually place 2 items. I'm explaining more for the people at home. I know you know this stuff. But you can place 2, if you were to set up a hydroponics garden, you would not build a room that is situated in 3x3 squares. You would have to have a 3x3 square for the first thing, but then you'd only need 2 squares across to set down a second hydroponics garden. And so a 7x7 room would make for a very excellent hydroponics garden. You can have a lot of, as long as you put in a grid garden, you can have a very decent sized little area that'll produce enough food for your barman to cook up into delicious space food. Yum yum. Indeed. What are you thinking about doing for your research?
I was thinking about starting off with something food. Well, what all can you research? Again, this is new to me.
Well, let's see here. I'm just listening off the top of my head here, but I'm pretty certain the researches are advanced lasers, which is you get a better laser gun, better armor, better material recyclers, like a better material refinery, so that you get more matter out of asteroids and bodies and things like that. Better gardening tools so that your botanists can grow better food faster. A improvement to your builder's ability to build tiles. A improvement to your builder's ability to vaporize tiles for extra matter, which is useful if you're disassembling a lot of space debris. And I think there's a medical upgrade to your air recyclers so that your citizens are actually seemingly less likely to get sick because the air recyclers have like inherent antibiotic stuff in them. And if you get that upgrade, you can get a second upgrade, which actually allows your oxygen recyclers to provide double the amount of population, which is great. You have to research 2 things. Yeah, it's the only double tier tech in the game so far, so it's it's time intensive, but double population is pretty hype.
Nice.
Plus
Somebody is sabotaging shit.
Oh, son of a bitch! Shoot them! Shoot them! No, I mean,
Well, I have no idea who they
non-lethally.
are.
Oh, it's that dude. That's motherfucker.
Quilu?
Yeah, Quilu, you motherfucker. We see what you're up to. As the great Robert Muldoon once said, shoot her! Yeah, so here's the thing that you might not have seen too much of, since the brigs are a newer feature. You can lock someone in. Oh, that's right, doors. You can also upgrade doors. If you assign a security person to go over and non-lethally deal with them, they might lock them up, or they might gun them down, depending on how violent they're acting. So, depending on how reasonable this person is, they may be willing to go quietly, in which case you can shove them in a brig and let them cool down. If, however, they are extremely violent, you can toss them in the brig, but if you haven't upgraded your doors, they will punch their way straight through them and continue their rampage until someone puts them out of their misery. There's not a very good way of dealing with tantrum spirals right now in the game. Like, if someone starts going berserk and they don't want to calm down, they will keep rampaging until they starve to death. I mean, they can calm down, but it is very easy for them to just keep on going crazier and crazier and crazier until eventually they just are like, nope, done. I'm just gonna lay down and starve to death because screw you, man. Total dicks. Anyway, we'll see if old Quilu here can, calm his butt down, or if it's going to come down to a good old-fashioned alien bug hunt.
Yep, we shall see.
Hey, and hopefully we'll have some more people on board pretty soon.
Hopefully.
Hopefully. Yeah, one thing I really want them to add to this game is an ability to check your citizens' happiness and mental states a little bit more easily, because right now there's a bit of a problem where the only way you can really check everyone on your base in rapid succession is if you go into the roster, which only tells you what their job satisfaction is. And while you can use that to then jump to any individual citizen, the process of going through and checking everyone to see who's likely to go into a tantrum can be a little bit problematic, since it requires you to.
Citizens, early on, you're gonna have decreases in that sort of thing.
So it's a little bit wonky. I really wish there was some way that it was just like, here's a list of every single citizen on your base and their their current emotional state, like just the morale. I mean, like I get it might be difficult. It might be too much information if they try to include like all of their personal information stuff. But even just a chart that works like the work roster, that is just like the citizen list that just tells you, what each citizen is currently doing and what their emotional state currently is. Just that would be fantastically helpful. Hell, I'd settle for even just a little smiley face designating basically where their emotional state is, because at least then I could go like, okay, these people are super pissed off. I should probably try and deal with that before they go ballistic and I essentially lose a crew member.
Yes.
But, oh well. That's the joy of early alpha. These features will almost certainly end up in the game, but we might have to wait a month for them. What are you gonna do? So what's this big area you're constructing? I'm curious.
The one that is halfway completed, or the one I just
almost complete. Yeah, the one that you just finished.
That is the Research Lab Delta, is what it's called right now. I will rename things when I figure out a naming scheme.
Fair enough. And so the second area is going to be hydroponics or the bar?
This new one's going to be hydroponics, and then the bar is going to be an offshoot of the reactor.
Awesome, I like it. It's kind of a theme bar. Life support, the bar. or power generator to the bar. You just walk, you get drunk, wander past the huge, dangerous reactor cores, and they're like, yeah, whatever. I spilled my drink on the reactor, and now the power's going out. But it was a good time, guys. Really good time. But fun fact, apparently they have actually said they want to add in later on a feature where your citizens can get drunk and just like stagger around the place, accidentally breaking shit and just being generally shitty at their job.
Yeah.
Which, that'll be fun.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, derelicts. God, I hate derelicts, dude. Like, they can potentially be full of really useful research information and citizens who can join you, or they can be full of killbots. Yeah. Fucking killbots.
I have not run across killbots.
Pray you never do. They are awful. Like, they are really, really, really badass. And they will gun you down, and they can breathe in space, so if you cut out all of the tiles and try and, like, cheese them by just sucking them into space, it don't work. You just end up with, like, floating turrets shooting at your miners.
Oh god.
After they've killed all of your builders who are going and trying to, tear out the walls. Hate killbots. Lost my first really successful base to killbots.
Oh god.
Ugh, bastards. Bastards. Hate them even more than parasites. Like, parasites are bad. Raiders are bad, but killbots. Oh, well. So if you got an idea for a naming schema for these rooms, because this is kind of a cool thing with space bases, you can name not only your citizens, but also your rooms. Really get that personal touch.
Naming scheme for people is people we know.
Awesome, awesome. So I assume that the most badass and handsome of the space engineers are going to be, of course, Morath and Duhad.
Of course.
Actually,
Actually, what I was thinking, based on the amount of prolific content that you produce and keeping me on my own toes, I was actually thinking about naming our favorite space base guy after you.
oh, hey, that works. I'm sure our only security member is going to do super well. The Adventures of Duhad for the 30 seconds before someone shoots him in the face. Oh well, no, that's fair. And who are you gonna be? Doctor, scientist?
Not sure yet, but keep in mind that you will in fact have that your character will in fact have the first residential zone to himself.
What an honor! All right, and so I
once
assume
the bed gets put in there, and I can actually assign it to him.
Oh, fair enough. So I assume we're also going to probably be joined by our dear beloved friends, Colonel DeFrog and Tenma Ranger.
Yes.
And possibly an old favorite of your channel, Mr. Jackson McKenzie, old Schmucky, who helped out with the XCOM LP.
Yeah. All right, and we're back. Sorry for the cut. We forgot to move to the recording lounge.
Yep, it's alright, though. We're professionals in professional, scenarios. So, yes, what were we actually doing? I forget.
We were assigning you the brand new, when it's been completed, loft.
Sickness. I'm looking forward to that one.
Yeah.
Man, we're gonna have so much fun. We're gonna have a little block party in space block, bopping all around the night with my sick space ladies. You know, how close are some of these outposts to rich deposits of meteor?
Not sure.
Fair. Well, if they are, you should set up a refinery in some of the outposts so that we can actually have a shorter flight for our poor space minors.
Yes, that would be nice. Oh, we could set off a refinery off of one of the derelicts. The one that just came through.
All right, fair enough.
Now that that's done, let's set up a new beacon at the other derelict.
So this the second derelict, you're just going to clear it out and then set up a second base.
Well, the one that's two-sided with the double airlocks, I'm gonna turn. Actually, no, this is a botany zone.
Ooh,
Oh, we've got one, and a research data cube,
nice.
which we need a scientist to take care of.
Yeah, that'd be a thing to do.
And Duhod, one of your favorite activities will be doing science once we
Oh.
no longer.
Fucking A, I fucking love science.
Once we've
Dude.
cleared all of the derelicts, you will be the new dude for that sort of thing.
Oh man, I hope I don't die tragically one day before retirement from security duty to become a scientist. That would be super tragic.
Yes, it would.
Have you figured out who Morath is yet?
Well, we've already named the most competent and happiest member of our staff.
Well, we could use you as the super happy technician. Technicians are super important to the running of a base.
Sabik Sinclair would also make a good technician. We're
That too.
actually moving Uvuluvu to being the new botanist.
Oh yeah, makes sense.
But Derek Apollo is also a really good technician. We may rename him into Morath.
It's whatever one you want to do, man.
And he's a skilled one too, so that's good. What's going on? Oh. I was like, why isn't he going in? Oh wait, the game's paused. We are professionals, we swear. And then claim that. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no!
Oh God, what happened?
Dude, I got you killed!
Son of a bitch! Day from retirement! No! No!
Oh my god!
This is a tale too good to last. Morath, you motherfucker!
Oh,
I knew this was gonna happen. You sent him on one more mission.
oh no!
That was kind of inevitable, I guess. Fucking Raiders.
Unclaim that. We'll let the derelict just go its way. And we will forever we will forever put something that will have you under, remembrance at least.
Sure. Name the science lab after me. That'll be a fitting memorial at the very least. The Duhud Institute of Science and Technology, or Duhud Institute for short, because I don't think you can actually put a name in that's that long.
Alright, so we'll name the research lab after you.
Wonderful. No, clear that's... Yeah, never mind. 10-second delay. I literally see you clearing the beacon.
The Duhod Research Institute has been named.
Huzzah! I feel that takes the sting out of death, certainly. So don't derelicts usually float away? By claiming these derelicts, are you, in fact, making them part of the base and therefore preventing them from floating off into space?
That, and I should probably take down these engines.
That would probably also be a good idea. Just as a heads up. As another one of those just fun little details I found out only after we'd recorded episode 1, that whole thing with the magnetic field that we were freaking out about when we were selecting a base location, yeah, it turns out magnetic field actually refers to how many derelicts, like the frequency of derelicts showing up. Basically, that is a thing that we probably should have just read the description on, because that was right on the screen that we just totally looked over.
Yeah, I bet.
We are dummies. We are kind of dummies. But whatever. So if you want to connect the oxygen recyclers and power generators in these separate offshoot stations to the main one, you need to connect your bases together by rooms. And that's actually pretty easy to do, as you can build long corridor sections, turning satellite stations into parts of your main station. It's a bit expensive, but it can be a useful investment later on to both allow for faster travel and so that there are multiple entrances and exits from your base with the various airlocks, which again can help your poor miners so they don't end up going and mining on the opposite side of the map and then running out of oxygen before they make it back.
Yes. We may or may not have a problem.
Oh no, what's the problem now?
We have some people docking.
Son, bitch. Oh look, I'm going through right now. Oh god. I'm as you say that, I look at you answering the questionnaire thing with going like, oh yeah, you guys don't seem like pirates in the slightest. Why don't you come and dock with us?
Well, if they were pirates, they would do so anyway.
Not necessarily. You can actually talk some pirates out. Some events you cannot talk your way out of, but some of them you can. I don't know whether or not the one you clicked on... I can't remember the one you clicked on there. I didn't really get a good look at it. If that was one of the ones you can talk your way out of or not. There's a slightly unfortunate thing in this game where there are a pretty decent set of events that can occur that you can respond to, but I think most of them are pretty... For the most part, I think most of them don't have a variable chance of the outcome. Like they're mostly pretty straightforward as to whether they're good or bad. Though, of course, if you're in a higher risk zone, even good ones can be extremely problematic, since you can end up with parasite-infested colonists joining your crew, which is not good.
Yeah, that would not be good.
Damn parasites! If you don't got level 2 guns or a lot of level 1 guns, they will eat your crew. Hey, on the upside, though, your raiders don't seem all that interested in actually, charging straight down the corridor and going in guns a-blazing.
Well, last time we had that event, it turned out that they were not, in fact, raiders.
Oh, well, I guess they...
Well,
okay, yeah, I guess...
Well, okay, they were raiders. They said they were going... they're like, oh yeah, we're gonna dock with you, and then...
Yeah.
They did.
Well, to be fair, I think there is a chance that even with like the ship docks, like I think the overwhelming chance is that they're pirates. Though I think there is a slight chance that they are actually friendlies.
Yeah.
It's just that it's generally not worth the risk because way more often than not, they are dangerous raiders. Though that is where the necessary forcing can come in. You can order your people to not fire unless fired upon, and then run into the place. And if they are friendly, then hooray, new people. Whereas if you run in lethal, it prevents an ambush, though at the cost of potentially gunning down innocent, colonists who just happen to have their own ship.
Yes.
Of course, I'm paranoid, and I'm sort of like, yeah, fuck it. charge in, guns blazing, gun them down. If they didn't want to, if they didn't want me to shoot them, they should have come in on their in their flight suits. What's all this with bringing extra supplies and more base resources for me? Screw that, they're probably dangerous.
I'm sending a newly assigned security personnel
to go and investigate.
Yes.
Well, hey, worst case scenario, turns out they are horrible monster men who are going to eat you alive. In which case, you can just tell your builders to go and destroy that bridge.
Yes.
If they don't have an airlock, then they're kind of shit out of luck.
Yes.
Of course, if they turn out to be, killbots, then... Yeah. Yeah, killbots. Fucking killbots.
About those.
So what did you find out on the ship?
I haven't. The guy hasn't gotten there yet.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Yeah, again, I'm on a bit of a delay, so I'm hopefully going to find out from you beforehand whether or not this is going to be a screamingly awful massacre of your entire ship, or a friendly reunion with some long-lost, brothers and sisters of the Terran Empire.
Ooh, another derelict.
Oh. That's a fun thing. You can find out that... excuse me. You can actually find out that some colonists are actually xenophobic. That's a trait that they can actually have in their personality psych profile. Which is kind of interesting. You can also find, especially with xenophobic humans and stuff, they'll actually talk about trying to rebuild Terran society. So obviously, human race is kind of fucked, which you sort of kind of get from the description of the game and stuff, where it's this is taking place after the apocalypse, and the reason you're all settling out here is because you were escaping, and now you're just sort of trying to build a new home for yourself in deep space. But it really seems like there is no set Terran organization. Terrans are now in these little space bases scattered throughout the galaxy. And the reason there are so many human colonists that you're finding is because basically everyone's, all the humans are basically kind of doing this sort of crap right now, just flying around desperately trying to hook up with one another and build actual bases.
Okay, so my security personnel is working out.
As they tend to do.
I have a beacon.
You'll get around to it eventually, I'm sure.
Yes.
Presumably after the botanist has left all the plants to wither on the stalks.
Actually, they seem to be pretty healthy. Oh no, some of these are not very healthy.
Yeah, see, that one that you dealt with, one request you dealt with a couple of seconds ago, I know, delays. That guy decided to leave you alone because you stood up to him.
Yes.
Which is why reading the what people say to you can be important.
Yes. Apparently, Morath and the security personnel got into a fight that Morath did not start, and Morath put him on his ass. So
wonderful.
We're gonna put Morath on temporary security duty instead.
Fantastic. It's always a good sign when your security chief decides to get, ornery, starts a fight, and then loses it. That's a good sign. Oh, God. This is great. Well, hey, giant neckbeard Morath will take care of this problem now. It's just like you in real life. That was an insult. That wasn't actually...
I see this.
Yeah,
I
you'd
just
actually.
chose to ignore it. Okay, so we've
Oh,
got actually some new crew. They were friendly.
oh shit! I would have just shot them all, but I mean, like, hey, I guess that works too. New crew's good, especially when you only have like when you only had 7 people to start with after that last giant space battle. Just getting some new people, especially with how unfriendly most of the recent passers-by have been. Pretty good, pretty good.
Yes.
Yeah, well, once you hit about 10 people in your crew, that's when you know you've kind of made a base that can fill all the necessary duties. When you can have a doctor and a botanist and a scientist and a miner and 2 technicians and a builder and at least a couple people on security. Like
Yes.
when you can fill up every position, and preferably with 2 technicians, because seriously, you need to keep that base in tip-top working shape. That's when you know your base is in good shape.
Yep.
And when you really have made is when you have at least 2 people on every assignment, because that's when it's just good.
It's when you at least you can have some dedicated security personnel.
Exactly. You can have a full-time security force, and you can have a like a pair of botanists to take care of everything, and you can have bartenders who can take shifts from one another. Interestingly, like there's kind of an interesting thing with this game where like the priority on like which positions you need to fill are not the same as the priority on the positions you need multiple people on. So you want a doctor really early on, you want a bartender as soon as you have a bar, but you don't actually need a second doctor or a second bartender until you really have extra people. Whereas getting
What
a
the hell is this?
Ooh.
There's a
Alarming.
ship.
Oh. Little my whistles.
People are... Oh!
What is it?
Raider breaching vessel.
Motherfuckers. All hands on security deck. Luckily, raiding vessels are pretty easy to deal with. All you have to do is just, full lethal on the location where they start breaching, and as they come up through the vent, gun them down. Of course, it was a breach vessel like that killed like 20 of my people in my most successful baits to date, which, sort of put light to the idea of it actually being a particularly successful base. Grumble, gripe. But luckily, it seems like this raider vessel was not too bad. But yeah, as I was saying, having a scientist is a lower priority, position to fill. But having a second scientist is one of the more important skills, one of the more important dedicated people to get a second one of, since one scientist will not research anything nearly fast enough to make it particularly worthwhile.
We have a problem.
Oh shit.
We have a massive problem.
That is a problem. Maybe, like, gather up everyone and tell them to try and do something. Oh dear Christmas crackers. Oh my goodness.
Oh, he went down taking him out.
Well, hey, fucking medals all around, I guess, right?
Just about.
Oh god, it's XCOM all over again.
It is XCOM all over again.
Well, okay, I mean, it could be better, admittedly, but all things considered, you started with 3 people, and you didn't start with a base, so really you are up. You are in the positive.
That I am.
Oh god. Well, hey, another positive. You definitely have enough beds for everyone to have their own custom personal bedroom.
Oh, this is true. I think that's a good place for us to end off for the evening.
It's probably not the worst.
Oh, so do you think we're going to die? The answer is probably, but give us your own opinion and any sort of information that you have on the game that would be beneficial to us not dying would also be appreciated.
Also, if you'd like to be in the game as one of the characters who has not yet been named, let us know in the comments, and we will add you in the next video.
Sounds good. Alright. Bye.